Hello, this is Angel Imdad at Myco Studio. With yet another interesting episode of Green Talks. Green Talks is all about the sustainable initiatives a person takes or they take at their company level so that आप भी अपनी sustainability game को strong कर सकें. Today, I'm very glad and honored that a very reputable person and Honorable Dr. Lotz is here.
Thank you.
He is the Consul General of Germany Consulate in Pakistan, Karachi. Thank you, Dr. Lotz, for coming in.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for this initiative.
Thank you so much. So, Dr. Lotz, normally, Germany is taken as the leader in sustainability with their waste management practices and importance toward green initiatives. So, what is the key initiatives towards maintaining these reputation?
Well, we have a number of initiatives. We try to get carbon neutral, as so many other places do. But look, we come from an economy which is very much based on fossil fuels.
Yeah.
Back in 2000, only 25 years ago, we had an energy mix, an energy consumption of nearly 50% coal, 10% gas, but it's basically 50% coal, 6% renewables. Now we stand at 62% renewables.
Wow.
And coal is less than 20%. So we are phasing out of coal. We try to really promote renewables, which means wind energy, solar energy, geothermal energy. So I think that's a big goal to come to 80% of renewables by 2030. So it's quite a change in the energy mix that we have. I think another important point is really energy efficiency through insulations, through waste management and other things to improve really or to reduce the energy that is used. I think that's also very important. And all of that requires research, technology,
Definitely.
and fortunately as a country we have a strong basis in science and engineering, and so that is where we are trying to go.
Perfect. So, being a consul in Pakistan, Karachi, and leading the way for the German consulate. So, during your tenure up till now, we have also were honored to do a project with you at Irverde. So, some of the initiatives that are highlights of the green initiative that you took under your tenure during this time.
Yeah. Well, one you mentioned already, we did together with Irverde, we did that education program, and I think that's the key to get young people at an early stage to understand the importance of sustainability, of how to approach waste, how to deal with water, how to use fossil fuels or not.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. Well, you also can address the older generation like myself or so. It's also important, but the young generation, I think that's key. Now we have a number of projects. We have been financing various schools solar panels, for example.
Nice.
To get them energy independent, which at the end of the day is also an economic issue.
Yeah.
It makes sense also from that point of view. And Pakistan is a wonderful country for solar, also for wind energy, but for solar energy. So we were doing that. We were helping a project to build after the floodings, to build housings in close to Mirpochas.
Okay.
Together with a project by Yasmin Lari, whom probably many people know.
Yeah.
and housings that are both energy efficient but sustainable, which can be built within a couple of hours to a very low price. So that we were trying to do. And yeah, we were trying, of course, to support the whole process of helping people and to get more resilient, in particular after the floodings.
Right, definitely. So, Dr. Lotz, it's amazing that you are approachable and you are very you want people to grow and work in this section. That's amazing, because since we have been working with you, and it's been an amazing experience, and we have reached numbers of people, thousands of people, I would say, and that has been really impactful. So, talking about that, not only in Pakistan, but as I mentioned that in Germany, there are multiple companies who are working on this, right? Sustainability, as you mentioned as well. So GIZ is it works in Pakistan with the German. It's of course the German organization as well. So some of the companies' initiative that are being implemented in Germany, and that can be maybe copied in Pakistan. If you can think of some which is not being happening right now.
I guess it's largely what all companies are doing, given that energy costs are always a high cost factor for any company, to reduce consumption of energy. And that has to do largely with energy efficiency. It has to do with, for example, in a cold country, but it's also something which is applicable here, insulation, better insulation of buildings. Waste management is something, but really to come to what is called a circular economy, to get to reusables, to transform used materials into reusable materials, to try to reduce plastic bags. That is something. The reduction of plastic that we use is, I think, is also a key question. So it's a mixture of the willingness of companies to do that, to go in that direction, of course, of regulations controlled by the state. That's certainly an important factor. But there are companies like Siemens or so who are producing
lots of
solar panels, but in particular also wind turbines. Other companies like SMA who produce solar inverters. We have that big sector of the car industry.
Very
Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, you know that. And that's an industry that has been based on the same kind of engine for more than 100 years. And we were, I would say, really at the technological forefront. And now after a century, we have the transition to go to e-vehicles, electric vehicles. I think that's something that is happening at the moment, and I'm pretty optimistic that also these companies are doing well in that, because the technological expertise is there.
Right. Definitely, and I guess these are some very good examples that you have mentioned, and that can be, I guess, like EV cars are now being introduced in Pakistan as well, and people are intrigued towards the fact that they should have a maybe not completely EV, but maybe hybrid cars. So that's a good initiative of people doing to adopt that. It's a good one. Other than that, Dr. Lotz, as you mentioned, that multiple companies are doing great work, and under your leadership, multiple new startups and small companies, SMEs, were able to scale up their projects as well in terms of green and blue economies. So what are some of the basic or major components that this year or maybe next year German consulate is looking into? Maybe that projects can be funded for scaling up. Are there some particular sectors in green economies?
I think we are very much interested in the sector of reusables.
Okay.
And I know that you are doing that as well. Perhaps I don't know whether one can see that here. That's a reused material, right?
Right.
So you can make use of used materials really to build new things like furniture,
Yeah.
clothings. In the textile sector, that plays, I think, a very big role. We always try to bring this very important textile sector together. We typically
Yeah.
have meetings, panel discussions at the consulate with main representatives of the textile sector,
Right.
which is so important to Pakistan. But if you manage to reduce energy emissions and carbon emissions there, I think that's a huge step forward. So we try to promote that as well. And then, of course, the whole sector still of education, of raising awareness, because very often people can do things, can influence things on their own. They can have an impact. You can go to the shop and you don't take plastic bags. You come with your bags that you take from home, and the next time you take the same bag again. That's already some step. Yeah. You always can think as consumer how you behave. Do I buy organic products, for example?
Right.
Yeah? So I think that's also an important thing to raise awareness.
I guess these are amazing components, and multiple people are working on it. So if you are a small company who is working on these things, I guess you have the person, and you can just reach out to German consulate for upscaling your projects. Dr. Lotz, talking about at company level and organization level, yes, we are sometimes intrigued because of the policies that we have to implement green, sustainable initiatives. But on a personal level, I would ask you that what are some basic initiatives that you have adopted to promote sustainability and to go green?
You mean in my personal life? No, one thing which I think is important is my wife and I, we are basically vegetarians.
Oh.
Yeah? So I eat occasionally seafood or so. But this is quite an important element. People should eat less meat, not because in principle that is bad or so, but it's a large part of emissions. Yeah?
Definitely.
Beef production contributes a large percentage to carbon emissions in the world. So I don't say that people should not eat meat, but reduce it a little bit or quite a bit. I think that's important, and that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to reduce the use of our car, and things like that, to reduce also the number of flights. Yeah?
Oh, yes.
Because that's a huge contributor to pollution. So perhaps occasionally people who are flying should think, is that trip really necessary? Also, if it's a business trip, or is that something perhaps I can do online? You cannot do all online. You need personal contacts, of course, but you should always check that, I think.
Definitely. I guess the last point, and the meat one as well. In Pakistan, we love to eat meat. And now and then, like a party or a dinner is incomplete without a meat stuff. But I guess people need to understand the fact that you need to have a balanced diet, as well as for your own health and for the health of the environment too.
Yeah, I think that's the key word. A balanced diet.
Balanced diet, definitely.
People should, in principle, of course, eat what they want.
Yeah.
But a balanced diet is also important for health reasons.
Definitely. And I guess with that point, because everything, I always say that, Dr. Lotz, everything is connected. If you take care of the environment, it will take care of you. But if you'll give something bad to the environment, some way or the other, it will come back to you. And you'll have a bad health. Your health will deteriorate. And pollution is doing that to us.
Yeah.
Like in Lahore, we have a lot of smoke, but who is creating the smoke? And ultimately is impacting our health on a bigger level.
Yeah, we basically, water is the same for everyone. Yeah, we need all water. But in reality, access to water is different. Yeah, if you can afford it, you get clean water. many people who cannot afford it
Definitely.
don't get clean water. And it's about water, it's about air. So yeah, these things have to be accessible to everyone.
We need to respect the resources,
Yeah.
I guess. It's
Yeah.
very important. So Dr. Lotz, because a lot of our viewers and young generation is coming up with new initiatives as well towards green or even of different businesses. So I would like you to give some vision to them or some few words for their betterment, or they can come up with the new initiatives in this sector.
Yeah, no, please come up with initiatives. We are always open to that and interested to get your ideas. Please come and approach us. I think in the long run, what we all have to try to do is to find a balance between the human role in nature, yeah, and nature as it is. As humans, we are part of nature. But at the same time, we are the biggest enemy. And I think the challenge that we all globally face is how to balance that, how to come to an equilibrium. Human population will increase further. It will probably peak somewhere in the second half of the century. So it will eventually peak and go down. But we are not at the top yet. And that means the space that humans as a species require is still increasing. So we have to protect nature, we have to protect the biodiversity that we have gotten to live on this planet. It's a blessing, and we have to see ourselves as guardians, as custodians of that. And really to make sure that this biodiversity survives, because it's in our own interest.
Definitely. Very well said, Dr. Lotz, and I guess that was a great message to our youth and the viewers as well. With that note, we'll end this discussion. And as Dr. Lotz said, that we need to respect our environment, and with that, we need to maintain the balance between our daily life and how we are protecting the nature and even what we are choosing to eat. Thank you so much for watching the Green Talks, which is exclusively available on Myco. Thank you.